In this video, let us start our small intestine introduction topic. Okay, so first let us draw a normal like general outer external features of the stomach. It will continue as duodenum. Okay, so here comes ascending colon, this is transverse colon, and this is descending colon. Okay, so from duodenum starts jejunum and ileum. And this ileum will attach at cecum, and here will be appendix, right? So let us name them. This is duodenum, this is jejunum, this is ileum, this is cecum, this is appendix. So this is a general thing everyone knows, right? This is ascending colon, transverse colon, descending colon. Okay, so today our main discussion is on small intestine. So small intestine, duodenum, jejunum, ileum, that's it. So 3 parts are in small intestine. So actually the small intestine the proximal 1.5 parts of duodenum, only proximal 1.5 parts of duodenum, including liver, gallbladder, pancreas. Here will be the pancreas like this. So including liver will be here, right? So liver, gallbladder, pancreas, proximal 1.5 part of duodenum, all are forming from the foregut. Okay, distal 2.5 parts of duodenum, jejunum and ileum, also cecum, appendix, ascending colon, and right 2/3 of transverse colon. Till here everything is developing from the midgut. Okay, so what I am saying, liver, pancreas, duodenum, proximal 1.5 part, and also gallbladder forming from foregut. Duodenum other part, jejunum, ileum, cecum, appendix, ascending colon, up to transverse colon middle part, it is formed from midgut. So all remaining from left 1/3 of transverse colon, descending colon, pelvic colon, proximal part of rectum of hindgut. Here will be rectum next. Okay, so all that are formed from hindgut. So this is according to the developmental part. Now coming to especially small intestine. The small intestine is starting from pylorus. This is the pylorus part of the stomach. So it will start. So let me write here pylorus. Okay, so it will start from the pylorus part of the stomach to the ileocecal junction. So where is ileocecal junction? This is ileum, this is cecum. So this junction is named as ileocecal junction. Okay, so from the ileum to the cecum, ileocecal junction, and here you have it is starting from pylorus of stomach. So this is all including in the small intestine. And if you see the length of small intestine, it is more in males when compared with females, and it is divided into upper fixed part. The upper fixed part is called duodenum. So duodenum is upper fixed part. Okay, and it is like about 25 centimeters in length, and it is having a lower mobile part. Okay, lower mobile part which is forming very firm convoluted tubule, and upper 2/5 of mobile intestine are called jejunum, and lower 3/5 is known as ileum. So the structure of small intestine is mainly adapted for digestion and absorption of food. So duodenum is having upper fixed part and lower mobile part. So what are this upper fixed and lower mobile part? We'll discuss, okay, in the duodenum part. So this is just an introduction to small intestine. Now coming to some important points in the small intestine. You have circular folds of mucous membrane in the small intestine, like plicae circularis. So what are those? Circular folds or plicae circularis. So what are this, or also called as valves of Kerckring. So actually they're like circles which are found inside the small intestine. So why they are present? Mainly like they are permanent folds which are not obliterated by distension. They begin in second part of duodenum. So actually duodenum is divided into first part, second part, third part and fourth part. Okay, so mainly they begin in the second part of duodenum. This circular folds begin in the second part of duodenum and they are permanent folds. They become large and closely set below the level of major duodenal papilla. Actually here you will have somewhere major duodenal papilla, so below that they are present. So they are mainly helpful for absorption of food, especially by slowing down the passage of intestine content. So whenever the intestine content is coming, it will slow that flow of intestinal content and it will increase the absorption capacity. Okay, next intestinal villi, they are like finger-like projections of mucous membrane, right? They also increase the surface area of small intestine like about 8 times. So intestinal villi increase surface area 8 times. So this is important point. And next, coming to different intestinal glands, you have like they're called as crypts of lubricants, right? So crypts of Lieberkühn. These are like simple tubular glands. Okay, they are simple tubular glands which are present in whole of mucous membrane, especially in jejunum and ileum. Okay, jejunum and ileum. So why they are present? Of course, they secrete many digestive enzymes. They also secrete mucus. So they are having high level of mitotic activity. So they also help in digestion and also like to produce mucus in a small intestine. And you know that the lining of small intestine is replaced for every 2 to 4 days. So for every 2 to 4 days, lining is replaced in small intestine. Okay, next you have some other type of glands like duodenal glands, which are also called as Brunner's glands. Okay, duodenal glands are called Brunner's glands, which are present especially in submucosa layer of intestine, and they are like small compound tubular echiner glands which secrete mucus in duodenum. Next, coming to lymphatic follicles. Lymphatic follicles are divided into two types. One is called solitary, other is called aggregated. So actually this aggregated type of lymphatic follicles are also called as Peyer's patches. Okay, Peyer's patches. Actually these lymphatic follicles are more in the case of our ileum, and they are also large in ileum, but they are small and less in jejunum. Okay, so actually in each villi of our small intestine, there is a central lacteal. So actually what is lacteal, what is its function? Okay, so there is a central lacteal by which the lymph from the lacteal drains into plexus in the wall of gut and form the regional lymph nodes. So from there it will go to regional lymph nodes. So actually the lacteals are useful for lymphatic drainage in small intestine. Okay, so this is also one of the important point. Next, coming to the blood supply. So for the ileum and jejunum, the blood supply is mainly by our superior mesenteric artery. Okay, superior mesenteric artery. And coming to the nerve supply for the small intestine, the nerve supply is by both sympathetic and parasympathetic. Okay, sympathetic and parasympathetic, and also it has celiac and superior mesenteric plexus, and of course it has enteric nervous system. So there is a special nervous system for small intestine, that is the enteric system, which have mesenteric plexus, and it has special plexus which is present only for the mesenteric plexus and mesenteric plexus, right? That is called as enteric nervous system. So already we discussed about this in physiology, right? So this is like an introduction. So we have completed the introduction to the intestine, not only small intestine. It is complete introduction for the small intestine, right? We discuss about duodenum, jejunum, ileum, right? These are the three components of the small intestine. We discuss what are the circular folds which are present, what are the intestinal villi, what are the crypts of lubricants, and we have discussed what are the glands present in duodenum, what are the lymphatic follicles like solitary, aggregated, about Peyer's patches. We have discussed about the blood supply, like a central lacteal, what is the lymph drainage, and also we discussed what is the nerve supply. So we have completed all the basic introduction for the small intestine. So in the next video we'll start, especially we'll focus on duodenum, okay, and in other video we'll discuss especially about jejunum and ileum together, okay.